Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Hey wife, did you know that Anchor is sponsoring our show?
Really? Don't we use Anchor to distribute our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts?
Yeah, and we are on just about every other platform available as well, thanks to them.
Why do we use Anchor as our podcasting service?
Well, they make editing and distributing our show a breeze.
What if one of our listeners wants to start their own podcast?
Then they should head over to anchor.fm or download the app to get started.
Awesome! You guys should go do that right now! Husband!
Wife!
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
I remember that there was a second resurrection. And
Who was resurrected?
some kid that wasn't it Elisha had a room that he was like staying in, and then he gave this lady a kid, kind of, I guess. That died. And then he died from a fucking massive headache. And then he came and resurrected. He laid over the kid.
He did. He laid on the kid.
Put his mouth on the kid.
Yeah.
And his eyeballs on the kid. and he resurrected that kid.
It sounded really creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, Elisha tried to poison everybody, but then he put some flour in it. It was all good.
Right.
Yeah. So there was that.
I don't think Elisha was trying to poison them.
Whatever.
It was that...
I didn't mean he was trying to poison them. He put the poison in the soup, and then the soup attempted to poison them.
The soup attempted to poison them.
And then they were like, hey, dude, it's poison. And then he's like, here's flour. And they're like, okay, it's all better now.
Magical flour.
Magical flour.
And there was endless oil and endless everything.
Yeah. Not jars. They ran out of jars.
They did run out of jars.
Yep, for sure.
So many miracles.
Yeah.
You would think Elijah was Jesus or something.
So that was 2 Kings chapter 4.
It was.
And today we're going to be reading
2 Kings chapter 5.
All right, let's go do this.
Okie dokie.
Hey wife, do you like coffee in the morning?
I sure do, husband. Morning, noon, night. Which reminds me, I need to add that to our grocery list because we're running low.
Wait, before you do that, check out the website ungodlybrew.com where you can purchase a pound of your favorite flavor of coffee.
What if I want more than 1 pound?
Either order a larger amount, or better yet, get 10% off by setting up a subscription for every 2 weeks, or a month, or whatever works for you.
Did you set up something special for our listeners?
You know I did. Exclusive for our listeners, get an additional 10% off subscriptions by entering the code SACRILEGIOUSCOFFEE at checkout.
That's a hellishly good deal.
Ungodly Brew is hellishly good coffee.
Okay, 2 Kings chapter 5.
Okay.
Here we are on a Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, I think there's going to be more miracles coming.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, based on the headline, I think that there's going to be more miracles. The king of Aram, okay?
Yep, the king of Aram.
Had great admiration for Naaman.
That guy.
Naaman, the commander of his army, because through him, the Lord had given Aram great victories.
Well, that was nice of the Lord.
And it was nice of Aram to recognize his captain.
Yeah.
Captain, my captain.
Right.
But though Naaman was a mighty warrior, he suffered from leprosy.
Oh, well, he's supposed to not be...
He's not.
He's supposed to be quarantined,
He's supposed to be away.
Especially if this is Lord's stuff going on.
Yeah.
And Lord's giving...
That's unclean.
That's against the Lord's rules.
That's unclean.
Like, did you read Leviticus even?
Right?
Jesus.
Do you even Bible?
Right?
At this time, Aramean raiders had invaded the land of Israel, and among their captives was a young girl who had been given to Naaman's wife as a maid. You know, the way you just drive around and you just pick up people.
That one's yours.
Yeah. And then you just give them, like, you put a bow on their head and say,
happy birthday.
I bought you
here's
a
girl.
maid. I got you a slave.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. One day, the girl said to her mistress, "Sigh, I wish my master would go to see the prophet in Samaria. He would heal him of his leprosy."
Yeah. Or they could, quarantine them like in
Like
I'm
they're
just saying,
supposed to.
Like,
yeah, this
what the
is
fuck?
not okay.
There's like leprosy camps and stuff. Mm-hmm. At least there used to be.
Well, there were.
Is it not such a big deal anymore?
I don't know.
Okay.
So Naaman told the king what the young girl from Israel had said. "Go and visit the prophet," the king of Aram told him. "I will send a letter of introduction for you to take to the king of Israel." Okay. So Naaman started out carrying as gifts 750 pounds of silver, 150 pounds of gold, and 10 sets of clothing.
Damn, that's a lot of fucking that's a lot.
"Please take away my leprosy. Lama lama ding dong."
You must have been pretty fucking rich.
10 sets of clothing.
Right?
I don't even have 10 sets of clothing. Just kidding. The letter to the king of Israel said, "With this letter, I present my servant Naaman. I want you to heal him of his leprosy."
Okay.
When the king of Israel read the letter, he tore his clothes in dismay and said, "This man sends me a leper to heal? Am I a god that I can give life and take it away? I can see that he's just trying to pick a fight with me."
What?
This literally just made no sense.
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
Like, what?
You have all these prophets, including Elisha.
He also sent a fucking shit ton of silver and gold. Mm-hmm. I thought that should clear up the, picking a fight thing.
They are always doing that, though. This is not the first time that somebody has come bearing gifts and been accused of warfare.
Right, that's true.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
But when Elisha, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel had torn his clothes in dismay, he sent this message to him. "Why you so mad, bro?"
Is that what he sent?
He said, "Why you so upset?"
Oh, okay. Yeah.
"Send Naaman to me, stupid head, and he will learn that there is a true prophet here in Israel. Unlike you, fuckface."
Right.
So Naaman went with his horses and chariots and waited at the door of Elisha's house. Want to take bets on whether or not he gets healed of leprosy?
I bet he gets healed of leprosy.
I think he's going to get healed of leprosy.
Pretty sure that's going to happen.
Okay. But Elijah sent a messenger out to him with this message.
Okay.
"Go and wash yourself 7 times.
Maybe that's all it takes to cure leprosy.
In the Jordan River. Then your skin will be restored and you will be healed of your leprosy."
This isn't a fucking miracle. This is just bathing.
So wait, when you say wash 7 times, does that mean like you have to walk into the water and then walk out and be like 1?
Yeah, I guess.
Or does it mean you could stay in the water and you could be like, "I scrubbed, that was 1," and then
No, I'm
like,
thinking. I think you gotta do it 7 times.
So, but what do you consider a bath, though? Do you walk in and then walk out, or do you have to walk in and scrub?
You gotta dry off first. You gotta dry off.
Oh,
and
you
gotta
dry off.
Yeah.
Why do you think that? Like, what makes you think that?
Well, because otherwise it would only be one really long time.
Really?
Yeah.
Even if you walk out and then walk back in.
Well, you can't. You still got water dripping from you, so yeah, just only counts as 1.
I guess it's like if you go to the pool, even if you get out of the pool, you're still like pooling, right? Mm-hmm. You're doing the pool that day.
Right.
Okay, all right. But Naaman became angry and stalked away. "Dude, I thought he would certainly come out and meet me," he said. "I expected him to wave his hand over the leprosy and call on the name of the Lord as God and heal me."
Yeah, that would be so much cooler.
"Aren't the rivers of Damascus, the Abana, and the Farpar? Farpar.
Yeah.
Better than any of the rivers in Israel? Why shouldn't I wash in them and be healed? Fuck, man."
Yeah, there's so many better rivers than that one. The Jordan, jeez.
Yeah. He's stupid. I mean, has he not heard of all the miracles?
I
guess not.
Yeah.
So Naaman turned and went away in rage.
Didn't even try it, huh?
Didn't even try it.
Well, that sounds stupid to me.
Like, okay, let me ask you this. If you got cancer, say, that would be like today's horrible thing, right?
Yeah.
And you went to doctors and they all tried to cure you, but it wasn't happening. So you're like on your deathbed or whatever. And then somebody's like, "Okay, I know this sounds hooky, but I've been to this spiritual healer who made my whatever disease go away."
Yeah.
wouldn't you just be like,
fuck yeah, you just go along.
Right?
Like
this,
what do you got to lose?
This sounds stupid, but I don't mind being stupid. I've got a disease.
Right.
Right? I'll try. I don't care.
Exactly.
But his officers tried to reason with him and said, sir, if the prophet had told you to do something very difficult, wouldn't you have done it? So you should certainly obey him when he says simply go wash and be cured.
Right.
Doy.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, Naaman, can you not be stupid, sir?
Right.
Like, just try. Just try. Why not try?
Yeah.
So Naaman went down to the Jordan River and dipped himself 7 times as the man of God had instructed him. And guess what?
He got cured of leprosy?
His skin became as healthy as the skin of a young child, and he was healed.
I'm so shocked.
Right?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Right? Yeah.
I never saw it coming.
No, never.
Plot twist. Then Naaman and his entire party went back to find the man of God. They stood before him, and Naaman said, now I know that there is no God in all the world except in Israel. So please accept a gift from your servant.
So God's only in Israel, huh?
Yep. That makes sense.
I guess we're all just screwed.
The rest of the world is fucked.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of like America's God right now. They're like, nope, he's white and he lives here in Texas.
But according to the Bible, he only lives in Israel. So that would, if God were real, that would explain why we're having such a hard time over here.
But how many American Christians have read the Bible?
Like none.
None. But Elisha replied, as surely as the Lord lives, whom I serve, I will not accept any gifts. And though Naaman urged him to take the gift, Elisha refused. What a good guy.
Yeah, just such a nice guy.
But
he also has kids mauled by bears.
Right.
So just to be clear, he's
not
that
a nice
guy.
guy.
Right, yeah.
Then Naaman said, but please allow me to load 2 of my mules with earth from this place, and I will take it back home with me. From now on, I will never again offer burnt offerings or sacrifices to any other god except the Lord.
Okay.
However, may the Lord pardon me in this one thing. When my master the king goes into the temple of the god Ramon to worship there and leans on my arm, may the Lord pardon me when I bow too. That's fair. He's like, look, I am totally on board with your king. Sounds awesome. I'm all here for it. But I also have a life and a job.
Right.
So could you just not be mad when I go along with the king?
Yeah.
He's like,
sure.
Forgive me, please.
Right.
I have principles, but I'm not going to die for them. Go in peace, Elisha said. So Naaman started home again. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Good.
Right.
But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said to himself, my master should not have let this Aramean get away without accepting any of his gifts. As surely as the Lord lives, I will chase after him and get something from him.
For yourself, maybe.
Oh, Gehazi.
Right? Like, what the fuck, man?
You can always depend on Gehazi to fuck it up.
Right.
So Gehazi set off after Naaman. When Naaman saw Gehazi running after him, he climbed down from his chariot and went to meet him. Is everything all right? Naaman asked. Yeah, Gehazi said, but my master has sent me to tell you that 2 young prophets from the hill country of Ephraim have just arrived. He would like 75 pounds of silver and 2 sets of clothing to give to them.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
By all means, take twice as much silver, Naaman insisted. I mean, yeah, I could see Naaman's like, you guys healed me of leprosy.
Right.
I was trying to give you this anyway.
Right.
He doesn't know.
Right.
He gave him 2 sets of clothing, tied up the money in 2 bags, and sent 2 of his servants to carry the gifts for Gehazi. But when they arrived at the citadel, Gehazi took the gifts from the servants and sent the men back. Then he went and hid the gifts inside his house.
Because they weren't for fucking Elisha.
Right.
Who did it, and he took them for himself.
When he went into his master, Elisha asked him, where have you been, Gehazi?
Yeah, buddy.
I haven't been anywhere, he replied.
Oh, you're fucked, man.
Yep. But Elisha asked him, don't you realize that I was there in spirit when Naaman stepped down from his chariot to meet you?
This guy sounds too close to a fucking god, like a living god.
He's Jesus.
Right? Like, this is some bullshit.
He's this miracle dude that resurrects people.
This is weird.
He's Old Testament JC.
Right? Like,
he's like Jesus OG.
Like, we must have been like just this close to like worshiping Elisha instead of Jesus.
Yeah, I think so. Is this okay? So, dude is continuing.
Right.
Is this the time to receive money and clothing, olive groves and vineyards, sheep and cattle and male and female servants? Because you have done this, you and your descendants will suffer from Naaman's leprosy forever.
Oh, wow.
Shit!
Man, just fucking screwed all your descendants, man.
Right? When Gehazi left the room, he was covered with leprosy. His skin was white as snow. The end.
Jesus.
That's so funny because when a lot of fairy tales are like white as snow.
Yeah.
And like Snow White is supposed to be all good and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
But white as snow, Snow White means you're covered with leprosy and you're gross and sick.
Right, yeah.
You nasty.
Well, that's okay. I mean,
that's a heavy price to pay for stealing.
It really is.
Like,
really
I'm not saying that Gehazi, I don't know.
God's been kind of hands off, and then all of a sudden now, just because this dude's like Elisha's servant, he's like, I'm going to kill you. Or I'm going to punish you and your whole fucking, all your kids and everything.
Like, if you found out, let me ask you this. You get cursed, right? And you get leprosy, and you've been told all of your progeny are going to get it too.
Right.
Wouldn't you just not have kids and let it die with you?
Well, yeah, of course.
Like, I'm just going to not get... who would want to fuck me anyways?
Well,
I have leprosy.
It doesn't matter. You're a man, and they're women, and it's the fucking Iron Age.
So you're saying that your leprosy nasty dick is going to fuck people?
I'm just saying.
You're going to rape. You nasty.
I'm not going to, just to be clear.
Okay.
But... we are talking about Iron Age dumb fucks.
Nasty men.
So, I'm just saying, like, that's probably going to happen.
I always come across as a man hater, but I'm like, but men are rapey. Generally speaking. In the Bible, they certainly are.
Right, yeah.
And yes, men get raped, but, like, the vast majority of people who do the raping are men.
Right.
So gross. I'm sorry. I'm not a man hater. I'm just, like, a rape hater.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I'm with you there. Fair. I'm a rape hater, too.
I'm glad you are.
Yeah.
Neither of us wants to be raped, and neither of us wants other people to get raped.
That's right. That's right.
Even, you know what? Even McConnell, I wouldn't wish rape on him.
No, but he can fall down a flight of steps or something.
I would
get
not
really
cry.
badly bruised.
If he fell off of a house that didn't have battlements.
I would definitely... I mean, I don't want him to die.
I'm not trying to wish death on him, but if he was dead, I wouldn't cry.
Severely hurt would be funny. Like, you remember when it was all bruised up a while back?
Yeah.
That was funny.
That was funny.
I'm just saying.
I mean, okay, it's not nice to laugh at other people's pain, but it's just that he has caused so much pain for millions of people.
No, it's all relative, you know?
It is all relative. It's like, would you wish harm on Hitler? Like, my automatic answer is, of course.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, God, what kind of person am I? I'm wishing harm on another person. But...
It's the age-old question of, like, if you could go back and kill Hitler as a child.
Right.
Would you?
And I want to say yes, because it would save millions.
Right.
But it's a kid who hasn't committed a crime yet.
Right. Exactly.
So, that's so hard.
It's a hard question, right?
I'd probably do it, though. If I'm being honest, I'd probably do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'd feel disgusting the rest of my life.
Right. Right.
But I think I would rather feel disgusting over one death for the rest of my life that I caused rather than the millions that I let happen.
But then you gotta also ask, did Hitler happen because of Hitler, or did Hitler happen because of a movement that would have happened anyway?
And did God move his heart to do that? Oh,
so
shit.
I've heard that this is a thing that comes up as an argument all the time on things, is that technically Hitler claimed Christianity, but he was basically an atheist. Like, if you really dig into it, he was kind of an atheist.
Oh, are you serious?
To some extent, but he used Christianity to motivate his Nazis,
kind of like Trump.
Yeah, no, and that was the parallel I was trying to draw.
Oh,
is that it's very similar, because I don't believe for a second that Trump believes in God or knows the first goddamn thing about God.
He doesn't. He doesn't give a fuck about God. Right. It's not that he believes or doesn't believe. It's not even something he thinks about. Right.
He uses that for his platform. He uses it to gain followers.
Yeah.
He uses it to further his message. That's all he does. That's all he does.
Yep.
And it is whatever. That's all. I don't know where I was going with that. I was just, speaking more because I could.
Crusty. I just was thinking of the last words of this passage. His skin was white as snow. And then I
You
was
just
like,
thinking crusty?
leprosy, crusty.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I don't even know what
Came
the
out
fuck
of nowhere.
leprosy looks like, so
I mean, isn't it like flaky skin and stuff? Like
Maybe.
eczema times 10?
I guess.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not a thing anymore.
Right. No, that's great. All right. Well, that's, I think, all we got because we're just going on about nothing.
That's the best me.
Yeah. So that was 2 Kings chapter 5.
Indeed, it fucking was.
And tomorrow is actually going to be Saturday, which means that we'll be doing our Q&A.
We will be doing our Q&A. That is correct.
Right. I was waiting for you to chime in there, but you just kept looking at me like
Because
with
I was
blank
like-
face. So
Because I thought it was something special, and I was like...
it's
but-
always something special.
Okay, but I thought it was something special different. And so
No.
I was like, what am I forgetting?
No.
What am I forgetting? But on Sunday, we'll have Sacrilegious Book Club.
Yeah, that.
As
and
well
our
as
weekly replay.
The weekly replay.
And then we'll be back on Monday, as always, with the next chapter of 2 Kings, which will be 6.
That was my part.
I'm sorry, I fucked it. I'm sorry, I fucked it all up.
I'm supposed to say.
Go ahead.
You're supposed to go.
Go ahead. So, and then on Monday, we'll be back with...
2 Kings chapter 6.
There, and everything's better now with the world.
It almost is.
Just for that moment in time right there when you said it. Everything for that moment right there.
It felt gross when
It
you
was
did.
better.
I kept waiting for you to shut up.
Yeah, I didn't
And
shut
then
up.
you didn't shut up. You just kept talking.
I didn't. You're right.
It made my stomach hurt. I was like, what are
Very
you
sorry.
doing?
I'm sorry. I'm sure that there were listeners out there that were like, no.
I mean, I was.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my god. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks!
Okay, bye.